We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome to Millennium Sports World. Today we have brought local and international sports stories including ICC World Cup, basketball, American football, world soccer, cricket and some more sports news. So let's see what's waiting in today's sports world. At first, let's have ICC World Cup 2023 stories. Afghanistan produced the first shock of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 when they beat defending champions England by 69 runs on Sunday at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi. Holders England crumbled for 215 runs in front of Afghanistan's trio of spinners after winning the toss and asking Afghanistan to bat first. The underdogs set England a target of 285 runs, thanks to a blistering knock of 80 runs off 57 balls from opener Rahmanullah Gurbaz and a half-century from wicketkeeper Ikram Alikhil. Spinners Rashid Khan and Mujibur Rahman contributed in a lower-order flourish that saw Afghanistan put up a competitive total and allow their bowlers to go all out against the England batters. Boasting a powerful batting lineup, England were handed an early loss when left-arm pacer Fazil Haq Farooqi dismissed opener Johnny Bairstow in the second over. From then on, Afghanistan's spinners took over as off-spinner Mujibur Rahman bowled out Joe Root for 11 runs and Mohammad Nabi dismissed David Malan for 32. England captain Josh Buttler was dismissed for 9 runs by pace bowler Navinul Haq. Star leg spinner Rashid Khan added to England's woes by dismissing Liam Livingstone and Adil Rashid. Harry Brook put up a resistance with his 66-run innings, but fell to Mujibur Rahman in the 35th over to send England reeling at 169 for 8. England lost the tournament's opening match against New Zealand by 9 wickets, but beat Bangladesh by 137 runs. Umpire Maurice Erasmus was not the only one marveling at Rohit Sharma's six-hitting prowess during India's comprehensive victory in Saturday's World Cup blockbuster against Pakistan. Watching him dismantle the Pakistan attack at the Narendra Modi Stadium, teammate Hardik Pandya, a formidable hitter himself, said it felt more like PlayStation than cricket with Rohit on the rampage. Pakistan could not manage a single six, but Rohit alone clobbered half a dozen as India, turbocharged by the skipper's 86 of 63 balls, completed a modest chase with nearly 20 overs to spare. After hitting one of those monster sixes, the opener was seen flexing his muscle in front of a grinning Erasmus, an action he later explained to Pandya in a video released by the team. He was asking me the secret behind my big sixes and if it had anything to do with the bat I use, Rohit told Pandya. I was just telling him it was not my bat but my power. The elegant right-hander overtook West Indian Chris Gale's record of 553 sixes in international cricket heading into the match against Pakistan. After Saturday's match, Rohit also became only the third batter after Gale and Pakistan's Shahid Afridi to smash 300 sixes in one-day internationals. Former Pakistan captain Ramesh Raja slammed Babar Azam and his troops after their humiliating 7-wicket defeat to arch-rivals India in Ahmedabad on Saturday. Pakistan crumbled under the weight of the much-anticipated clash as they went from 155 for 2 to all-out for 191 in front of over 100,000 Indian fans at the Narendra Modi Stadium. Indian captain Rohit Sharma smashed 86 of 63 balls as India raced to the target in just 30.3 overs with 7 wickets to spare. Ramiz was disappointed that Babar and team couldn't rise to the occasion and put up some fight against the Indian team. This should hurt Pakistan because they weren't able to compete, Ramiz said on a recent episode of the ICC Review podcast. When you are playing against India, obviously it's such an environment where it's 99% India fans and crowds. You are obviously overwhelmed. I understand all of that. But Babar Azam has led this side for a good 4 or 5 years, so you have got to rise to the occasion. If you can't win, then at least compete. Pakistan weren't able to do that, he added. Before getting hammered against India, Pakistan had started the tournament on the right foot, with wins over the Netherlands and Sri Lanka in their first 2 encounters. But the morale in the Pakistan camp is bound to take a hit after the crushing defeat to India. Pakistan team director Mickey Arthur was upset by the lack of their fans at the Narendra Modi Stadium on Saturday, but would not blame the team's comprehensive defeat by India on the absence of support from the stands. The late unveiling of the tournament's schedule had already made it difficult for fans from abroad to plan their tour of India for the 13th edition of the showpiece event. Soured political relations between the Asian neighbors has further complicated the issue, and the Pakistan Cricket Board has asked the governing International Cricket Council to sort out visa delays for their fans and media traveling to India. Almost an entirely Indian crowd of 100,000 plus fans turned the entire stadium into a sea of blue jerseys, and Arthur felt the tournament, hosted by the Indian board, lacked the flavor of a global event. It didn't seem like an ICC event, to be brutally honest, the former Australia coach said after Pakistan's 7-wicket loss. It seemed like a bilateral series. It seemed like a BCCI event. Only half a dozen Pakistani journalists arrived on the eve of the match, and the ICC said they were trying to sort out the visa issues. Asked if it was right for a World Cup, Arthur said, "Look, I don't think I can comment on that just yet. I don't want to get fined." Now it's time for World Soccer Stories. Lionel Messi is evidently going back to China after Inter Miami took advantage of not making the Major League Soccer playoffs by signing a deal to play 2 exhibitions there next month. The team said it would play a pair of friendlies against Chinese Super League teams. First in Qingdao, China against Qingdao Hainyu on November 5, and then against Chengdu Rongcheng in Chengdu, China on November 8. Those 2 stadiums can both hold between 50,000 and 60,000 fans. Those dates coincide with the first round of the MLS playoffs. Inter Miami was eliminated from playoff contention earlier this month. Inter Miami's announcement of the deal did not specifically mention Messi or any other player, though it would be surprising if Chinese officials agreed to the games without some sort of guarantee that the 7-time Ballon d'Or winner and the team's other best-known standouts, Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba among them, would be making the trip if physically able. This will be a great opportunity to continue building on our 2023 campaign, in which we achieved our first ever trophy, Inter Miami Sporting Director and Chief Soccer Officer Chris Henderson said in a release distributed by the team. We will take this as an opportunity to begin our preparations for 2024 as we look to build on last season and find more success moving forward. Julian Nagelsmann got off to a winning start as Germany's coach on Saturday, with his team securing a comfortable 3-1 win over the United States in a friendly. Germany looked much improved from the team that had suffered a 4-1 home defeat to Japan last month, a result which saw Hansi Flick fired as coach after a run of 5 matches without a win. The Euro 2024 hosts could ill afford another surprise loss, but they delivered a solid, well-rounded performance after recovering from a Christian Pulisic opener for the USA in the match at East Hartford, Connecticut. Although Pascal Gross struck the post early on for Germany, who were missing midfielder Joshua Kimmich due to illness, the home side looked threatening with Pulisic and Tim Wee lively on the flanks. Against a good team with a lot of speed, we took a very good step in terms of football, said 36-year-old Nagelsmann, who felt his team had been too rushed in the opening 45 minutes. In the second half, we also had a fast pace of play, but more patience and control. That was the difference. Berhalter's Americans missed the impact of injured central midfielder Tyler Adams, and Pulisic noted their weakness at the back. It hurts. We had a good start to the game. I felt like we hurt them in a lot of moments. But yeah, little mistakes here and there. Defensively, we can be a bit better, the AC Milan winger said. Germany will face Mexico in Philadelphia on Tuesday, when the USA will take on Ghana in Nashville. Qatari businessman Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has withdrawn his bid to buy Manchester United Football Club from its current owners. The Glazer family, sources close to the bid, have confirmed to Al Jazeera. In the past few days, Jassim, the chairman of a Qatari bank and son of a former Qatari prime minister, held discussions with the American owners, but the two sides failed to reach an agreement on the valuation of the UK-based club. Sheikh Jassim had been willing to pay almost double the current valuation of the club, which some reports put at 3.3 billion for a 100% stake, and had promised an initial additional investment of over 1.7 billion towards transfers, improving the club's facilities and community projects. However, he has informed the Glazer family that he will not meet what sources close to his bid describe as their outlandish valuation. The Glazers began exploring strategic alternatives to their ownership last November after almost 18 tumultuous years of ownership. British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the founder and chairman of the Ineos Chemicals conglomerate, submitted a bid seeking 69% ownership of the club, the same percentage owned by the Glazers. Ratcliffe's bid may value the club at a higher price than Jassim's, but as a minority bidder, he would be purchasing a far smaller stake in it. Now let's have latest basketball stories. The Chicago Sky announced they have hired Naismith Hall of Famer Teresa Witherspoon as the coach on Thursday, 2 days after her agent confirmed she agreed to take the job. "I am excited to be a part of the Chicago Sky family," Witherspoon said in a statement. "To be the leader as a head coach of an organization in a city with so much history and culture is a dream come true. The things that we are about to do as a team, a business, and in the community will be rooted in excitement, excellence, and hard work. I am thankful to the entire Chicago organization for going through this process and selecting me. I can't wait to get to work." The Sky, who won the 2021 WNBA championship, were searching for a new coach since James Wade left in the middle of the season to take an assistant job with the NBA's Toronto Raptors. Chicago announced at the end of the season, after it was eliminated from the playoffs by the Las Vegas Aces, that interim coach Imre Vettenseer wouldn't return. The Sky will hire a general manager separately. Wade and then Vettenseer worked as both coach and GM, but the team announced after the season it would separate the positions like every other team in the WNBA now has done. Onyeka Okongwu scored 18 points and the Atlanta Hawks stayed unbeaten in the preseason with a 110-105 victory over the New Orleans Pelicans on Saturday. Zion Williamson had 16 points in 25 minutes, but New Orleans fell to 0-3. Okongwu shot 8 for 10 from the field and grabbed 6 rebounds in the game played at the home of the College Park Skyhawks, the Hawks' NBA G League affiliate. Trae Young had 15 points and 5 assists, while DeJounte Murray and Jalen Johnson each added 12 points. Murray finished with 7 rebounds and 4 steals. Young and Murray checked out for good early in the third quarter when the Hawks led by 29 points. First-round pick Jordan Hawkins from national champion Connecticut made 5 three-pointers and scored 17 points for the Pelicans. Now it's time for latest American football story. Braden Fowler-Nicolosi heaved a 33-yard pass to Delin Hooker in the end zone on the final play from scrimmage, and Colorado State scored the last 21 points of the game to beat Boise State 31-30 in a wild finish on Saturday night. Trailing by 20 with about 6 minutes remaining, Fowler-Nicolosi threw a 12-yard touchdown pass to Louis Brown 4 with 4 minutes 1 second to go and tossed a 2-yarder to Dylan Goffney with 1 minute 53 seconds left. The Rams then forced a 3-and-out, but a 40-yard punt pinned them at their own 12-yard line with 33 seconds to go. Fowler-Nicolosi threw a 11-yard pass to Goffney and a 44-yarder to Torrey Horton. Following a Bronco timeout and an incomplete pass, Fowler-Nicolosi heaved his pass from near the logo and to the corner of the end zone before a heavily guarded Hooker grabbed the battled ball with no time left. Jordan Noyes kicked the extra point with no time left to seal it for Colorado State 3-3-1-1 Mountain West Conference. Fowler-Nicolosi finished 32 of 54 passing for 359 yards. Van Shield also had a touchdown run for the Rams. Ashton Jeanty ran for 212 yards and 3 touchdowns for Boise State. Jeanty scored on a pair of 3-yard runs in the first half and added a 7-yard touchdown run that stretched the Broncos' lead to 30-10 with 6 minutes 12 seconds remaining in the game. Now let's have latest auto race story. Formula One's governing body is reviewing a penalty given to 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton for crossing the track after climbing out of his car following a first-lap collision at last Sunday's Qatar Grand Prix. Hamilton tangled with his Mercedes teammate George Russell after making a flying start and went spinning off into the gravel trap when trying to overtake him. He jumped straight out of the cockpit and crossed the circuit, which is a breach of regulations. Following a steward's investigation, he was issued his first reprimand of the season and fined €50,000, with €25,000 suspended pending any further breach this season. But given his role model status within the series and the danger represented, governing body FIA feels this may not have been enough. Hamilton reached the inside edge of the Losail track shortly before Russell arrived at full speed, having exited the pit lane. The FIA notes that Lewis was apologetic during the subsequent stewards' hearing into the incident and acknowledged that the crossing was a serious safety breach, the FIA said in a statement Sunday. However, in view of his role model status, the FIA is concerned about the impression his actions may have created on younger drivers. Hamilton is F1's record holder with 103 wins, but has not won a race since the penultimate race of the 2021 season in Saudi Arabia. He is third in the F1 standings behind Red Bull drivers Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, who clinched his third straight F1 title in Qatar. Hamilton's incident was the second of the race. Now let's have latest rugby story. The lead was 14 points. The Rugby World Cup semi-finals were in sight and there was a celebratory feel to England fans' booming rendition of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot that swirled around the state velodrome with a little over 20 minutes left. Then Fiji finally turned up. The World Cup quarter-finals delivered another heart-stopper on Sunday as England held on in the face of a valiant fight back from the Flying Fijians to end the crowd-pleasing run of the tournament darlings by a tense 30-24. English hopes of a second world title were written off 6 weeks ago after a lackluster first-ever loss to Fiji at Twickenham. Now, a victory over the same opponent has carried them into the semi-finals for the 6th time in 10 editions of rugby's biggest event. Host France or defending champion South Africa await in Paris on Saturday. Now let's have some other stories. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi confirmed Saturday that his country would bid to host the 2036 Summer Olympics and become just the 4th Asian nation to stage the Games. The world's most populous country is this weekend holding a session of the International Olympic Committee's Executive Board, which has already resolved to include cricket, India's most popular sport, at the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. Modi made the bid announcement while formally opening the meeting after months of hints from members of his government, saying it was the dream and aspiration of India's 1.4 billion people. India will leave no stone unturned in our efforts to organize the 2036 Olympics, he said. Modi did not mention which city would apply to host the Olympics, but media reports have speculated that Ahmedabad, capital of his home state of Gujarat, was the most likely city to bid. Ahmedabad is home to Narendra Modi Stadium, named for the Prime Minister, and with 132,000 seats, the world's largest sporting venue by capacity. The Argentina women's cricket team smashed the record for the highest total in women's 2020 internationals, hammering Chile for 427 for 1 wicket at the St. Albans Club in Buenos Aires, Argentina on Saturday. Lucia Taylor scored 169 of 84 balls, the highest individual score in women's T20 internationals, and Albertina Gallon hit an unbeaten 84-ball 145 as they blew past the previous highest total, 318 for 1, which the Bahrain women's team amassed against Saudi Arabia last year. Chile, in reply, got bundled out for a mere 63 to suffer a 364-run defeat in the first match of the 3-match series. This is also the biggest win in terms of runs in women's T20 internationals. That's all in today's sports world. Keep watching Millennium Sports World for latest sports update. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all types of informative and entertainment program. Thank you.